All right, welcome to another episode of the 010 podcast. And it's just Andy and I today getting to chit chat about a topic that I asked her about earlier this week. So I'm very excited to discuss some skin. But before we do that, maybe we should pop in real quick and talk about what we have going on this weekend.
What do we have going on this weekend?
Or not this weekend. Sorry, next weekend.
Oh
I am so
gosh,
messed up on my weeks. It's so bad. Okay, next
I
weekend.
panicked. I was like,
I
what?
panicked because
What?
I have to get ready to go. So I'm going to Bismarck for almost a whole week. So I have to get ready to go and be gone for the next
Oh,
week in
yeah.
Bismarck. That's why. Um,
Okay. I
yes.
panicked.
Sorry.
That's all
Um,
right.
we have a fun event that we get to dress up for and you know, get our hair done or do our makeup, maybe throw some eyelashes on if I want to, mask in the moonlight. And the best thing about that for me is that I get to come and hang out with all these ladies that, first off, I haven't seen in a while. But second, it's like a tradition. It's something that we always look forward to. So,
Yes. Yeah.
you have your
And
dress
you
picked out?
yes, I do. I got a great deal on one last year, and so I'm excited to wear that. And it is fun to dress up. It's funny, the first year that I was invited, I remember thinking like, ugh, oh, I gotta find a dress. I gotta dress up. And it's fun. And I didn't realize how much fun it is. And well, the girls we go with are fun and we
Yeah.
always have a good time. And so it is something to look forward to. And for a good enough cause, I need to be careful. But it's for the Bismarck Cancer Center. And so I have some feelings about that. Obviously, over the last year of my life, so I have to be kind of careful. But obviously it's a good raising awareness for some of the things that people have to go through. That's always a good thing, I think. And they have a last year our friend Dee was the speaker. She is a cancer survivor and um
I didn't
they
know
they
that she
always have a
spoke.
survivor. She did. It
Wow, good
was
for her.
she did a great job. Um and so it's good to hear those stories
Hmm.
and how people do survive and um how they do that. So yeah, it's a fun event.
Yeah. And we get wine and dined. I mean, we get limo ride and the whole thing. Just does a wonderful job treating us gals like
Mhm.
we're princesses. So,
Yes.
um, I can't wait. I can't wait for that. So, speaking of that, we're all getting our skin ready for a very fun event. So, let's talk about skin a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
I it's
before we do, the next day after that, we're having a 1 day retreat, a
mm,
healing retreat. So,
we are.
in Bismarck. So, anyone who's interested in joining that, like just follow our Facebook stuff and you'll find it. But yeah, we have a 1 day healing retreat to recoup from a night out on the town. So,
Yes. Sunday the 8th.
Sunday the
Yeah,
8th
that'll be fun.
will be. Okay, so
All
let's
right.
dive in. So, first off, when it comes to skin, I think Andy and I have a similar opinion on where it all starts. So, but we're not going to get into the internal stuff as much as we are the external today, I don't think.
Okay.
We'll
I'm
see
following
where
your lead.
we'll see where it goes. But truly, like Andy, where does most of our skin like problems probably come from first?
Yeah, it comes internally. Hormones and gut health. Gut health to me has become really like a kind of a buzzword a little bit. It's like a trendy thing to talk about, but it's because it's legit. I mean, it is legit. If you can solve the issues in your gut, a lot of times, well, 100% of the time, your skin will follow suit. I mean, it's if you have a healthy digestive system, and again, it lends to our whole bodies work in tandem, right? So, and it's always your skin is telling you something.
Hmm.
So it's not just applying something topically, which is maybe counterproductive to what I do for a living when I say that, but I try to be really honest about it. Like if you have acne, what you're putting on topically is not going to cure acne. is going to help with the health of your skin and keeping it healthy and keeping the pigment under control and keeping the scarring under control, things like that. But it's going to help with texture. There's so many things that topically applied products are going to help with, but it's not going to cure acne. It's not going to cure,
Yeah.
you know,
Have you
the
found,
types of things that people are struggling with. Yeah.
yeah, have you found that there's certain patterns that you see in people's skin that you're like, oh, okay, this goes, like this is more of a gut thing, or this is more of a sun thing, or not that you know how we feel about sun, but like just different things that you find on people's skin tags, probably, like these different things that you're like, hey, this is commonly found here. Like the pimples on the back of your arms, sometimes people will get,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yes. Now I'm not a dermatologist, so a lot of those things really are kind of more dermatology related.
Mm,
But
mhm.
so I don't tell people like, oh, I see this, you have this, right? I don't say those types of things to people, but what I will, but yes, I do see those patterns and I do see those things. And then I will just encourage people like, to research and to figure out their own way through some of these things. And I give them maybe some of the things that I've done and some of the things that have helped me. But
Yeah,
yeah, people have to figure at the end of the day, everybody's got to figure out their own body, right?
yeah.
You got to figure it out. You have to listen to what your body is telling you. And um, it does talk to you through your skin for sure.
I think that's important to like maybe elaborate on a little bit. Is that the like what our body is telling us when people a lot of people don't realize that
Yeah.
it's telling you things, and it's okay to ask for help to figure out what your body's trying to say, because when you're just trying to
Yes.
start the beginning of starting to listen to it, it's like, okay, yeah, I know my body's trying to tell me something, but I have no idea how to have that conversation with it, right? So I
Right.
think it's like even just you saying that to your clients or your guests, that's a huge thing. It's like, oh, so this is kind of where I can start researching or digging in or whatever to figure it out.
Agreed. And there are a lot of my clients that I say those things to, and I can tell that that confuses them when I say that. And, um, oops, sorry. And I understand that it's confusing because, like you said, if no one's ever told you that before,
Hmm.
if no one's ever told you that to listen to your body, it is confusing. So I do try to, again, tell them or tell them how, how I got to that spot and what the kinds of things that I do. And gosh, I know I'm missing things my body tells me every day, but I try to listen and I try to. So I do tell them what I do. But again, everyone's got to figure out their own way through that too.
Right, right. Okay, so
Yeah.
what would be like it's winter here right now, when you've got a heater going and like, this dry skin that we tend to get with the cold air on our face and that kind of thing. Like what is the skin most lacking at this point in our season or in our year?
Oh my gosh, it's tough because I feel like I like talk about hydration all the time, but I truly believe that when it comes to skin, the health of the skin, and again, this is assuming everything else in your body is, for the most part working correctly, right? But generally speaking, dehydration and inflammation are the two biggest issues with skin. So if you're inflamed in some way, and that's acne or rose, I don't know, there's all kinds of things that come along with inflammation, but if you're inflamed and if you're dehydrated, so if you those two things are going to affect your skin dramatically.
Mhm.
um and I think well, I know you're the one that told me this, like you told me like when you do hydration testing on people, like 100% of people are dehydrated, right? Did you tell me that? Or like
That
almost
wasn't me.
everybody? That wasn't you?
Mm-mm.
I
No,
think
because I
I
don't
think
do hydration tests.
okay, so it was a chiropractor. It was somebody
Really?
who told me that they because you can do there that's a test,
Yep.
right? People you
I'm
can
sure it's a
yes.
blood test or
Yes, yes. I know it was a chiropractor because I had it associated with you in my mind, but they said like 100% of people are dehydrated. And I think we know like systemically people
yeah.
are dehydrated. And and then every time I say that to people, they go, "Well, I drink a lot of water." And I'm like, that I understand that because that's how I thought for many years too. Is like, well, I drink a lot of water, so I should be fine. But we're missing we no longer have the minerals in our water that we used to have in our it was in the soil, right? So it would be in our water. We don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
So we are
Well,
not
it's
we are
treated too. Water
it
is super treated.
yes.
Yeah.
So we're not hydrated properly, and you can drink a gallon of water a day and you're not going to be hydrated properly. And as a matter of fact, that then can affect your kidney in a negative way. We think that we're helping our kidney, we're actually not. So anyway,
Yep.
I'm not going to get into all of that, but drinking water is not the answer. So, again, that's something people need to kind of figure out for themselves as far as how they're going to hydrate. There are electrolytes, there are products, there's crappy products,
There's
there's
sea
good,
salt. I
there's,
think that's
there's
one of the like
agreed. Mineral
yeah,
salt. Yeah.
salt.
There's minerals. There's even just like mineral drops. There's some really simple, easy things. It doesn't have to be, I'm not going to name any products, but there's some crappy products out there that aren't doing anything for you, but
Yeah.
anyway, so hydrate. We need to hydrate and internally and externally. So there are some really great hydrating products that I recommend for people because topically you can help with getting your skin rehydrated. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say someone's like, okay, I don't want to go and get rid of, or like, I'm looking at all my products and they're probably not either healthy and they're trying to move on these different, move into some different things. Um, what would be your favorite, like just one ingredient oil, like face oil? What would be like one that you'd recommend?
One ingredient face oil. Well,
Well, it's hard to
then
find. Like,
really
what you would just buy. It's not going to smell good. It's not going to,
I
yeah.
don't necessarily recommend something like that. However,
Okay.
I do tell that like I did this morning actually. I just grabbed some coconut oil and but I did like a massage on my own face and I did a lymphatic drainage in my I'm a little I've got, coming off of something. So I just did some lymphatic drainage in my neck and in my chest. And so I just grabbed coconut oil. But you can grab olive oil. You can grab avocado oil. You can give yourself a good massage with these types of things. Now, that's not how, then I don't just end it at that, then I do um, put my own products on too. But there's nothing wrong with using those types of products. And when people are struggling with their skin, it is a good idea to keep things very, very, very simple. So, can you use coconut oil every day? I don't know. Everybody's skin is different. I didn't used to be able to do that. I would make me break out. Now I actually do try to massage with it probably 3 to 5 days a week, and it doesn't cause me any problems. But you need to try that for yourself. And olive oil, can you break out from that? Absolutely. Avocado oil, you could, but just try it and see. Um, but I think it is a good idea to get some oils, some healthy fatty oils topically onto your face. And people will say to me like, "Oh, I've tried coconut oil, it doesn't work for me." Well, it's
Well, what does work mean? Because no, I'm not going to go throw on my makeup on top of that and just go out and think that everything's fine. But, if you're going to hang out and, well, if you don't care if you go out with looking like a grease ball, that's fine too. Like, just,
I
but know
don't.
that, right.
I
Know
don't
that
care.
know that that's just, that's going to be the case when you're using these
Right.
one ingredient thick oils. But
Right.
But yeah. Okay. So, this is a big one that comes up often, especially as we have um, drier skin, is exfoliation.
Yeah.
So, on a face that's very dry, would you exfoliate or would you not? what kind of, you know what I mean, in
It,
your cleansing
that's a
process?
it's a
Like,
great question, and people ask me about it all the time. But it's not a simple answer because are you dry because you're over exfoliating? Are you dry because you're not exfoliating? There's so you can absolutely over exfoliate, and then your skin is going to be could potentially be dry from that. There are people that like literally will like scrub their face every single day and then they wonder why they're dry, and they're like, well, I'm trying to get the skin off. Well, yeah, you're getting your skin off. Now you're super dry, right?
yeah, okay,
So there's a balance, you
okay,
know. Once a week exfoliation is plenty. Now, there people may disagree with me in that. That's fine. That's my opinion. That's why I tell my clients once a week is plenty.
okay. That's
Some,
good
if
to
you're
know.
oilier, you can do twice a week or whatever. But, again, everyone's got to kind of figure out their own routine
Hmm.
and their own skin. But in all honesty, I prefer, and again, I get this is what I do for a living, but like I prefer to just once a month give myself a deeper exfoliation. So I don't even exfoliate on a weekly basis. I just once a week do a deeper, like an enzyme treatment on myself.
I was
Then I'm
walking,
done.
and then you're done. Yeah.
Then I'm done. Then I don't need to worry about it.
Right. I was walking through Barcelona and a gal came out, from her store and said, "Can I show you something?" Right. And I, of
Yeah.
course, I sucker and went in. But anyway, she exfoliated my hand first and then put the product on. And it was pretty surprising on how different. And then
Hmm.
she put the product just on my hand without any exfoliation. And of course,
Hmm.
I mean, my hands, I'm drier right now. But she said she just talked about it being able to penetrate the skin so much better.
Yep.
So is that something someone can feel
Yep.
just texturally with their face? Like if it's like, oh,
Yes.
I just feel like my face has been sticky for 15 minutes because it's not going
Yeah.
in. Okay.
Yes, 100%. And a lot of times when people come in and they're not, they haven't done treatments, or they're just not quite sure. And they're just like, I just feel dull, you know, I just feel dull. Dull is, it's why I call my enzyme treatment a radiant enzyme treatment because you just feel radiant afterwards. You do. You get that dead skin off and you infuse the skin with some really good antioxidants, some really good healthy ingredients, and your skin just immediately just is radiant and glowing. So yeah, you need to get the dead skin off. It makes a huge difference. But again, I and I sell products that you can use at home and I believe in them and I like them. So it's just everybody's got to find their own way. But it's not the thing that I caution people is yes, if you want to exfoliate at home, that's great, but it's not enough.
Yeah.
So you either choose, right, you can choose to do both. You can exfoliate at home and do treatments, but really that what you do at home is not enough. You need to, I always say at minimum with the change of seasons, come in and do a deeper exfoliation. So 4 times a year, if that's all you have time for, if that's all you can afford, that's totally fine. But with the change of seasons, let's get that dead skin off and get some fresh skin coming up. Yeah.
My skin had never been better when I was getting it monthly with you, and
Mhm.
I hadn't put that time or effort into my face ever, but it took us almost a year for it to, or I don't remember what you said, but it did take 6 months to a year before it was like,
Mhm.
okay, now we're at somewhere where we can not even
Yeah.
we use it in chiropractic. Are you maintaining or are you at wellness? And
Right.
for lack of terms for what you use, there's people that are maintaining at kind of shit, or
Mhm.
we are radiant, right? And
Yeah.
I sign up for the radiant typically. It's just how
Yeah.
I want to do things if I'm going to put the effort in. So,
Well, and I feel, it's, and again, it's hard when you make a living off of this, trying to get people to understand it because, of course, I make money off of what I do.
yeah,
But I've seen it. I've been doing this for a long time and I've seen it. I think of someone like, I have clients that I've seen literally for 12 years, and so if I try to explain it to a new client, like let's say if I take Josie today, if I could take two Josies and in 5 years, had one Josie who didn't do treatments regularly and one who did, that's when you're going to see the difference. You're not going to see the difference tomorrow when you wake up from a treatment. I mean, you are, of
Yeah, yeah,
course. You're going to wake up tomorrow and you're going to be like, wow, my skin looks really good. But that's going to fade a little bit and a little bit more and a little bit more. So then in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you're going to be like, oh, now I just look, that didn't last. Well, it's not, I mean, it's like anything you do. It's like chiropractic care. It's like eating healthy. It's like going to the gym. You can't go once and expect to have life-changing results. You have to continue on with treatments and understand that um, it's a marathon, not a sprint, right?
hmm What
Yeah.
about all the topical things that they're doing now that so the body in my mind it creates the structure within us. So collagen, for example, a lot of people are putting collagen on topically, and I feel like that doesn't make a ton of sense because I don't see the cellular on a cellular level that collagen is being built because you put collagen on your face.
Right.
But I'm not saying the
Agreed.
product is bad. Maybe just a way to get the product sold and it's doing some other things to the face. But is that how you see that a bit?
Yeah, I do. It's tough because okay, say collagen. Let's say you have a collagen serum and they're claiming that it's building collagen in your skin. I I'm sure that there are some scientific studies that can prove that. There's probably some scientific studies that could prove the exact opposite, right? You can find whatever you're kind of looking to support. So, but what I do believe is like, okay, let's say you find a collagen serum that you really love. Perfect. Then use it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then use it, right? But I mean, collagen supplements too. Um I just don't believe that they can literally build collagen in your body. And that's just my personal opinion. And again, you can find studies that support that, but you can also find studies that support that it does build collagen in your side. But I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
and
know.
I think a lot of so like bone marrow is a great example. The what is in bone marrow and you consume it, it has all the nutrients to build collagen. The body can start building collagen again. So I think that's something to really think about is that
For bone, that's why people drink bone broth, is what you're saying, right?
yeah, bone marrow, bone broth, like all,
Yes.
but because it's not that I mean, there's collagen in it for sure, but the matrix, what things are made out of on a cellular mineral type level, the body can consume and throw it to where it needs to go. Which then I get to another point where um, if we stimulate that there needs to be collagen somewhere, there needs to be a stressor on it. So I know you just talked about the lymph, like cleaning that
Mhm.
out, but let's talk about fascia for a minute across the face,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Like being able to you stress that out a bit. So and here I am rubbing my face. It's like um, those that are listening and not watching may I need to use my words and not use my hands. But if you're stressing the skin, and because skin is all collagen, right? Like it's there's different kinds of collagen, but I don't remember which one, two, or three. Anyway, the skin is made up of some. The tendons and ligaments in your body are made up of a different kind. So anyway, we have this different collagen, but you have to stress it out so that the body starts throwing collagen there. Not to the point of like bruising you, but it might bruise you. But I've worked on fascia on my face, and it makes a huge difference
Mhm.
in just how my face looks. Lifts it. So, what are some techniques that people could do, or that I mean, I've been watching on Instagram and mostly Instagram, but the fast face massages have gotten a little bit more
Mhm.
intense,
Mhm.
and I'm happy to see that because I get why. Um, but yeah, what do you think on that? Because you're the first one
Well,
that told me to do some yoga on my face. So
yes, yes. A lot of my clients will have heard this from me before, but they'll say, "Oh, like I'm thinking about getting Botox or I'm thinking about getting fillers or whatever." And I say do what makes you happy. But I will caution people, I just saw a video yesterday about a girl who had Botox, and she'd had Botox many, many, many times. And this particular time, and you scientifically maybe would understand this a little bit more than what I do, but it migrated into like her nerves and then into her nervous system, something. I didn't dive into it too much, but she's had months of neurological issues because of it. I mean, and I'm not anti Botox. I'm not. I used to do it it's been a couple years now. I quit doing it because I don't want it in my body. I just don't. And if it means that I have, you know, whatever. If it I don't know. I really struggle with why we're at this point in life in the world where we're not allowed to age and we're not allowed to have wrinkles on our face. It doesn't make sense to me. And so I've chosen not to do those things anymore. However, I understand it. I
Hmm.
just, people need to be aware that there can be negative. I don't care if if you've done it for years, it can cause problems for you. And there are problems that are not, easily solved. So anyway, um, so when people tell me that they are thinking about getting Botox, a couple things I tell them. Number one, make sure you're going to someone who knows what they're doing. There's a lot of injectors out in the world right now, and there's some really good injectors. Um, so I just tell people to do their research and make sure that they're good. And there's someone in Bismarck that I refer people to, who I trust 100%. She's a literal doctor. She's a doctor. So I refer people to her because she's very knowledgeable in the muscles of the face, like just because there's so many things that go along with injecting, whatever. So anyway, but the other thing I tell them is to try something else first. Try the facial yoga, try the facial massages, try the lymphatic drainage, try people, a lot of people come hate this part. They're, if you
Right
can't
underneath the
see, it's the
chin. Yeah.
underneath the chin, right? The saggy jowls. There's things that you can do that are fairly easy. Again, is it going to happen overnight? No, but you're not injecting something, you're not spending thousands of dollars. And quite honestly, again, it's a great way to get to know your body is to do some of these things. It's a great way to get to know your face, get to know your muscles, um, get to stop and think about how you feel, how your body physically feels to you. And so there are some really great facial massages, and
Hmm.
the fascia is a great tool if you can learn to do some fascial massages or go to somebody who does those for the face. But anyway, same thing. I just go onto YouTube. I go onto YouTube and I'll just Google, like, I don't know if my 11 lines are bothering me. I'll just Google like massage for 11 lines or whatever, and it'll come right up and you can
Yeah.
find what works for you.
Right. And it honestly, like when you do it, pretty quickly I can feel like, especially
Hmm.
the yoga, the face yoga, when I try to do something, I'm like, I can't even make that side of my face do that.
Hmm.
And it's like, okay, that tells, and I'm gonna, so then I'm like, okay, well, that's something I can definitely work on, right? Um, you'll notice really quickly what your face is not doing.
Hmm.
And even though your brain, you think that you're doing it, making it happen. And then that creates a neural pathway so that when you're talking, that side of your face will lift up or whatever. Like it just starts to become a pattern again. You just have to sometimes turn it back on
Hmm.
and make those muscles work. That's if the muscles aren't working, that's when we get droopy.
Yeah, you're
Hmm.
right. And you know what's interesting to me that I've noticed over the last few years? People that smile a lot, they like we've been told, oh, if you smile, you get your crow's feet and all that crap, the crap
Yep.
that we're told about this, that, and the other thing. But like the happiest people, you think of like the happiest person that's smiling all the time, they always have beautiful cheekbones,
They
right?
do.
They
Yes.
always have beautiful cheekbones, and they rarely have like saggy what are these called again? These little lines here.
Labial folds,
Yes,
love those.
they
Yeah.
rarely have those, saggy ones. Like they always have like this uplifted, beautiful, sculpted face. And so I think that's a really great um, thought process is like, just smile more.
hmm I think about that, and I think about relaxing my eyes, which I know doesn't, maybe just try it one time. But if you relax your eyes, your forehead relaxes and you can
Mm,
actually smile better. You know,
yeah,
if you're like this smiling, it's tight and awful, right? Like
yeah,
with your eyeballs
yeah.
like so stressed out that you can't really look around. But as you have a relaxed gaze, like how much more of your face is like will work. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some different things to think about, which means you're getting out of your mind and into your body. That's just what's happening there. But
Well, and also the authentic and the genuine, that is when people, and here, let's get a little deep into this conversation is like that genuine beauty versus, the frozen. And I'm not judging anybody that
no,
does those
same.
things. I'm really not. I'm not. But there's something that becomes very inauthentic about our faces when we do those types of things.
hmm
And you know authentic beauty, there's something to be said for that, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Or like, and it's what other people are perceiving of you, even though you're feeling really authentic, but you're not able to give a facial expression that you used to or whatever. It's people can feel that
Yes,
come off, um, then just question you a little bit.
sure.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's jump into different kinds of um, peels, things like that, because I know I'm very curious on the vampire,
Yep.
what is it, facial? I've had
Yep.
a
Yep.
couple friends do
PRP.
them.
Hmm.
Yeah, so like some of those little bit more intense ones. Um, can you
Yeah.
share what that even means, actually? What is a vampire?
Well, the vampire facial is uh, it's PRP, which is platelet rich plasma. I've had it done. Quite a few years ago, I had nurse friend who was training on it, so she used me as a guinea pig, and it was it was an interesting experience because they were trying to figure out a way to use because you have to numb the face. Uh, you're microneedling your own blood plasma into your face is essentially what you're doing. And again, trying to build collagen. You're creating a controlled injury, right? And so, but they also believe that blood plasma is very healing. Well, that is a scientific fact, right? And if people have had it injected into their joints, into their knees, into their shoulders, into the whatever. So anyway, it came across to put it on your face, right? So they take your blood, they spin out the blood plasma, and then they microneedle it into your face. Well, when you're microneedling, um, it can be painful. It can be very painful. So they put lidocaine on your face to numb it. And so anyway, when I was doing the guinea pig piece of that, they were trying to figure out the right percentage of lidocaine, and they started out way too um, conservative, and it was extremely painful, extremely painful. But anyway, back then when I did that, I had quite a bit of scarring from acne. And so that really helped with acne scarring. I've had many clients over the years who have done it, and I've seen people that have textural issues and scarring. That's where you see where I've seen the most good results from a treatment like that. It really helps with the texture. So pitting and scarring and things like that. Um, does it help with fine lines and wrinkles? Yes, but people need to pay attention to the fine lines. Like if you have deep seated wrinkles, I've seen people, again, I've had clients that have done it. It it might soften them a little bit, but those deep wrinkles are tough to get rid of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any other kinds that are out there right now that are, um, you know,
Yes,
trending
there's
or whatever that you
yeah,
kind
there's
of
all
have?
kinds of things. I can't speak to them because I've not done them, but there's
Yeah.
like a CO2 laser is a big one right now. There's always things coming up. I'm just not well versed in those things anymore. I don't do them. Um, I'm not familiar with them, but the one thing again, I will caution people is like, do, do you need to spend thousands of dollars and have downtime and potential risk? Because like some of these things they can be very, you're using heat, like laser, you're using high heat. And there's a theory that there's an interesting, it's why, kind of why, because I used to get laser treatments done like once a year. So I would go get a laser to get rid of some pigment and stuff. And I came across some interesting studies that were showing that this high heat, the high frequency, and things like that, that we're using for skin treatments actually will melt. Like again, if you're watching, you can see what I'm showing you here. But the fat pads in our cheeks, right?
Hmm.
You want those fat pads there. You want them as you age, right? Because even you can see with me, they droop. They it's gravity.
Hmm.
It's nothing that you're doing necessarily. It's gravity as we age, right? So there's a theory that high heat treatments are melting these fat pads faster. And if you look at people that have had them done, you have that do those a lot of those treatments, you can see that, right? So then they go in and they inject, then they inject things in there to pump it back up again. And again, that's fine. I'm not judging it. I've just chosen that now to stay away from some of those high heat treatments. Um, because I think that from my experience, you can get really great results without spending the thousands of dollars. Like, you don't need to do all those things. Sometimes you do. People have a lot of pigment. Yeah, go get a laser treatment done. They're great. They can be tightening for the skin too. Just don't overdo it. Or, I'll have people come in and they'll be like, "Oh, I have terrible fill in the blank." And then I'll take off their makeup and I do a cleanse on them and I'm like, "You actually have beautiful skin." I'm like, "Oh, but look at how big my pores are." And I'm like, they're larger pores are an easy fix. Again, you just have some enzyme treatments done. Inexpensive, quick, easy, enjoyable, relaxing, you know.
Right.
Um,
Not
you
burning
can
my face off.
and you're not spending thousands and thousands of dollars. So it's like I think that there are really great options for people without having to do these extreme things. And again, there are people that benefit from those types of treatments, but there are people that are doing it that just they don't need to be doing them. That's all. They don't need to be. If they want to do them, great, but they don't need to be doing them.
Right. The red light is like a big thing right now too, that,
Mhm.
you're vacuuming your house and you've got your face mask on,
Yeah,
type thing. Uh,
yeah,
is there, there's so many different options out there. Is
yeah,
there, because you had high quality stuff and you're like, I remember getting some of that with you. But if you
yeah,
had one of those things on the daily, like what,
yeah.
would it, I just don't know, like if it's worth having one of those things or, because I'm a whole
Yes,
habit stacker person. If I can do that and make my soup at the same time, like I'm all in,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Um, I'm just this
Yes,
the
they are
difference.
beneficial for sure.
Okay.
Do the red light. Red light is, and I'm not, it's FDA approved. What does that mean for me? Not much, but for the layperson, like, yes, it's FDA approved for the health of the skin. And you do see nice results. But the thing again, you have to remember is like, okay, if you I have I have a face mask like that looks like, a yeah,
Like a
you
scary
just slap
movie.
it
I
on
can't
your face.
remember
Yeah,
the name.
looks like a scary movie. Yes,
Yeah.
Halloween. Yeah, I have one. I use it probably 3 to 5 days a week. Um, I didn't, it's not a professional grade one. I
Okay.
just, Yeah, I use it. I like it. But I also do have some professional grade ones. Like I have a panel, a red light panel for my full body that is professional grade and it cost a pretty penny. And I did a ton of research on it and that penetrates. So these little ones that you're buying on Amazon or wherever, they're just for the skin. And that's great and that's fine. Use them. They're great. But there are some that will penetrate it deep into the body, so into the muscles, into the bone, and cause healing on a more cellular level. But for the skin, yeah, buy the $100 one off of Amazon or the $50, whatever.
Okay.
Um,
So like
I
the ones that
again,
are getting up to $700, five,
I
$500, like the
yes,
difference between the two. Because I wanted to, like, I don't know. Some people maybe
I wouldn't do that.
you wouldn't. Okay.
No, not no. Again, if you're looking for one that's gonna do something like if you're struggling with your health and you're using a red light one for your health, then yes, spend the
Okay.
money. If you're doing the skin, are there differences between the ones for the face? I'm sure that there are, but again, you're gonna be hard pressed to find um honest,
Reviews on it.
not just reviews, but like there's too much out there right now. There's too much out there. I would just whatever one you gravitate towards, grab it and use it.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's all on my list of all the different things I had on my mind. Is there anything else that you'd like to share about skin?
Hmm. I think consistency is the key. Get yourself a really great serum to use at home. I tell all my clients that a serum is the biggest, you're going to notice the biggest difference in your skin. Um, Choose natural products. I'm a huge fan of natural products. Do I use some kind of chemical products sometimes? I do, of course, but like I on a daily basis, I use natural organic,
Mm-hmm.
ingredients. And like, yeah, we don't need to overthink it. You don't need I just stay away from the chemical things on a daily basis. That would be probably my biggest thing is like and then come in and get a treatment every 6 weeks or so. 6 to 8 weeks. Yeah. It's a great rule of thumb.
Speaking of that, I do have one more question. I had used an oil cleanser in the
Uh-huh.
past and then that ran out and I ended up using something else and I've just recently went back to an oil cleanser. Is that
Mm.
I don't know. How do you know whether you're an oil cleanser girl or not or guy? Does it
Everybody could be an oil cleanser, guy
okay.
or girl. Everybody
It
can.
feels really nice
Yeah.
when you're
Yep.
done. Um,
Oils are huge. I'm a huge oil person and um yeah, they're just anybody can use them and people that have oily skin can use them. It'll
okay.
help balance your skin, your oil production. But I also caution people like a cleanser is not going to make or break your skin care routine. Like choose whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
Choose what makes you happy. If you love your oil cleanser, use it. If you
Okay.
love your Cetaphil, use it. But
Yeah.
uh, you know,
If you're gonna spend the money on anything, spend money on the serum.
spend it on the serum and honestly, professional grade treatment every. And again, I can't speak to everybody that does treatments, but like I try to keep mine very value based so that you um, are motivated to come in that every 6 weeks or so because they are so beneficial. So I try to keep it so that you leave feeling like you got a really great value from your time spent and your money spent because it is important, I think. So
Awesome.
yeah,
Okay, so make sure you message us with any questions about this podcast because I feel like
yeah,
there was a lot here that will be very helpful for our listeners. So
yeah,
feel free to shoot us an email or reach out to us about any questions on it. And maybe if you think about it, let us know what you want to hear more of.
yeah. That'd be a good one.
Yeah, we're curious what you guys want to hear. So I think that's the end. I think we're ready to close it out.
Okay, I'm gonna go do some facials and
Okay,
exfoliate some skin.
there you go. All right, thanks, Andy.
Thanks, Chelsea.
Bye.
Bye.